Hi, welcome to the Metaphysics Hour. I'm your host, Rory Colgan. Today we're going to talk about one of the 13 universal laws. This is a really important topic because after you have received all 13 of these laws, you will see essentially how the universe operates. And, of course, put it to test and, make sure that that is actually true and valid for yourself as well. Because I don't want you to just operate from a point of belief. I want you to actually know unequivocally that this is how the universe operates. So the first principle, the first law that we're going to talk about is called the law of divine birthright. It has two fundamental principles, two halves to the whole. The first side of the coin is that you exist. Shocking, right? Very shocking. You actually exist. Oh my God, such a revelation. I'm glad I'm so tuned into your show, Rory. You're telling me things that I really need to know and I never would have known if you hadn't told me. Yes. Beyond the jokes though, however, most people don't actually understand how deeply they exist or the full ramifications of their existence. In other words, most people are actually caught under the false idea that they are their bodies, that their existence is the body that they are in. And talk about a poor place to be. When you think you're your body, you become basically an animal. But when I say animal, I mean no disrespect to animals, because animals have an ingrained sense that they are not their bodies, that they have a spirit or soul, if you will. And so it's only us, these beautiful Homo sapiens, that can get so caught up in the body and its counterpart, the ego. And if you get caught in the counterpart of the ego and the body, you're going to be very concerned about what you're wearing, what you look like, what other people think of you, and you're definitely going to be in a either fight or flight mode. You're also going to be in a posturing mode where, you might kind of puff yourself up and try to do some sort of manipulation in order to get what you want without necessarily physically fighting or also physically fleeing. So there's that, and there's a few other different areas that you can deal with, but all of these are essentially destructive. And all of these come from a simple truth, or a simple lack of truth, and that is that you are afraid that you will basically end, that your existence stops. And so therefore, one of the first things that you need to do, recognizing that you exist, is to become aware of your existence beyond the body. One of the simplest places to do this is in your dreams. When you're asleep and you're actually experiencing a dream, you're utilizing your senses, but not senses of your physical body. If you're utilizing senses of your physical body, the dream would definitely be overladen with the senses of the room that you're sleeping in. You would feel the bed that you were sleeping in. You would hear the sounds that are happening in that particular environment where your body is. And oftentimes people will sometimes have a spliced dream where you might have a dream of bees and bees just swirling around and wake up and see that there is indeed a bee floating around and flying above your head. Now that is a dream where you're utilizing your inner senses, but you're also having some bleed through with your outer senses. Most of our dreams, especially for people that concentrate well and sleep well, have nothing to do with the physical body and the physical senses that the body might be recording. Instead, you're connected to the senses of your soul. Your soul has counterpart senses, and that's probably the most common place that you use them is in your dreams. Now also, this is a place where your intuition comes through. You might smell something that smells fishy. That's you using your olfactory sense, but not of the physical, but of the metaphysical, of your soul. The same thing with clairvoyance and clairaudience. Clear seeing and clear hearing comes not necessarily from the physical senses, because you weren't able to do that with the physical senses. There are parameters and limits to what the 5 physical senses can do. But since you were still able to do it, you did it through the metaphysical senses. The rules of physics are very elastic in the inner levels of consciousness. Hence, one of the reasons why a dream you might be having could take, it seems like hours, days, weeks, or months, but you wake up and it's like, I was only out for 15 minutes. Again, things are different on the inner levels of consciousness. So, remembering your dreams is one of the ways to become more aware of your existence. Another place that you can become more aware of your existence is through conscious out-of-body projections. So you're actually going throughout this physical world or the inner levels of consciousness, but not doing it automatically through the sleeping process. You're doing it intentionally through entering into a special concentration and state and using some sort of technique to get yourself there. That will help certainly alleviate the fear of death and also expand your horizons about your existence. Then you have the spiritual part of your existence, and that is the part that a lot of the religions talk about: heaven, nirvana, enlightenment, I guess self-actualization, and different forms have been used, different words have been used. The idea here is that time, you actually get beyond the reaches of time, and everything melts into one, everything becomes one. You don't lose yourself, you simply become more aware of yourself as being the one, as being part of the one, and really indistinguishable between you and the one. It's the difference between, recognizing that you're this water drop, or recognizing that you're this water drop which is part of the ocean, and then claiming the divinity that I am the ocean. So that's part one of the divine birthright. You exist. And so, celebrate this fact. Celebrate the fact that you cannot be destroyed, that you have an eternal life. And as you do so, you might start to appreciate your existence a little bit more, because you won't allow yourself to get caught up in these small itty-bitty details that are such an illusion once you can see a bigger picture or see a bigger whole. The second thing that we're going to talk about is the flip side to one's existence. And believe it or not, it's called free will. Free will is simply the right or the privilege to mold existence in the image that you hold. So if you're to say, I'm going to go to work in 3 hours, then you are using your free will to imagine a future that more than likely you'll actually fulfill. And people take this for granted all the time. We create our realities with our thoughts. You listening to me right now has been a sovereign right of yours to choose, I'm going to listen to this guy speak on free will. So the first universal law is the law of divine birthright. This law states that you exist and you have free will. The more you're aware of your existence and the more you use your free will, the more in harmony you'll be with the universe. Go to innerhealthtoday.com, click on a financial support if you'd like to support our mission. Otherwise, subscribe and keep listening to this show. We're going to keep putting them out there for you. And have a wonderful day, y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye.